Hello and welcome to this reconnect class. We're going to start seated or knelt. You can put cushions underneath you if it's more comfortable. And we're just going to take 3 big sighs, breathing it out, using the lips and a bit of a trill as you go. Audible sound from the back of the throat if that feels good. Not worrying what you look like on this, just letting go of any tension as you go, as you let that breath out, relaxing the face. And then ending it with a bit of a wiggle, a bit of a jiggle, a bit of a shimmy. Anything to get any of these last held places a bit of a release. Maybe circling the shoulder back. And then bringing your hands together, rubbing them to get a bit of energy between the palms of the hands, a bit of heat, a bit of warmth. Always nice for colder months. And open the palms and we're going to place them on our eyes or face. If that feels too claustrophobic, you can hold them a bit away from the face, just so there's some sort of connection of the energy and warmth from the palm of your hand to bring that internal moment, breathing into that connection. And then maybe placing these palms of hands either side of your head. And then just place them wherever you're called to place them. So maybe on the neck, front of neck, side of neck, back of neck, shoulder. There's no set place for this. It's just wherever you feel called to bring that touch, anywhere your body's going. Oof. I could do with a bit of acknowledgement and a bit of a tender moment. Not being afraid to use touch on yourself. Breathing into these places. Working your way down your torso. And maybe eventually reaching your thighs and giving them a bit of a rub. A bit of a wake up. Bit of an energy shift. Whenever you're ready, we're going to extend our hands out to the side, palms facing forwards, and just feel an opening of that upper chest, opening the throat, that front of throat to the sky, and breathing into this expansion. It's quite an exhilarating breath. You don't have to do much with the body, it's just this intention of openness. And finish it off with some backwards shoulder rolls, massaging anywhere in the shoulders that need a bit of a eking out. And we're going to bring ourselves, if you haven't already, to a seated position. Elongation in that spine. And on the next inhalation, we're going to lift the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, lower that shoulder, and inhale, side stretch over to your left. You can support yourself with your left hand on the floor. Extend it a little bit further outwards. You can look down towards that left hand or up towards the right, whatever feels good for you. You can stay still or you can move a little bit through this side stretch. On the next inhale, we're going to release that back up. Exhale, take that right hand down to the side. We're going to keep our head tilted very gently to the left, side stretching that right side of the neck. Now you can keep your right hand out to the side still, or you can do what I'm doing and gently roll the wrist. Just gives a bit of a different feel to that neck stretch. This is all very gentle. And then roll the head forwards and bring it back up to center. We're going to take that all the other side. Exhale, inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, drop the shoulder. Inhale, reaching up and over to the right side, extending that right arm out for support. Again, you can either look down towards your right hand or you can look up towards your left middle finger. And keeping still or moving gently. Seeing how it feels. On the next exhale, lower that gaze. Inhale, opening that left arm, bringing the body back up slightly, keeping the head tilted down to the right shoulder as you stretch out that left side of neck. Left arm outstretched, can either be still or you can gently circle that wrist for some movement in that neck stretch. All very gentle, nothing forced, just dripping that right ear down to your shoulder. And then when you're ready, rolling the head forwards, bringing it back up to center. We're going to open the chest forwards in a slight seated cow. Exhale back into your seated cat. Closing it off. Inhale, open that chest forwards, breathing expansion. Exhale, closing it off, exhaling that air. Inhale, pushing your arms open a bit, create more space. Exhale, gather some energy. Inhale, open the space around you. Exhale, gathering that energy in as you exhale. Inhale, opening, feeling expansiveness. Exhale, gather. And keep moving through this expansion and gathering sensations before bringing it back up to your center once more. And taking a moment here to do a few more sighs like we did at the beginning, just releasing any more excess tension. It might feel a bit different to how it did at the beginning. Using these lips, adding to the vibrations of the breath. And the next inhale, we're going to raise our arms to the side. Exhale, we're going to look over our right shoulder in a gentle twist. Your left hand can be placed in front of you, or you can take it onto your right knee to guide you a little bit further into that twist. And every inhale, we're working at lengthening that spine. And then exhale, we're softening into that extra space for that twist. It's from the upper thoracic region. And ready, bring it back around to the center. Then let's take that the other way. Inhale, then exhale. Gently look over the left shoulder. Softening into that twist with every breath. Letting the breath guide that twist. No need to force it in any way. And then bring that back round to center. We're going to be moving onto our tabletop all fours position. So wrists under shoulders, knees under your hips. And gently glide your hips from side to side in a bit of a slinky motion. Feel a lightness to this movement. And then we're going to inhale into our cow position, opening up that upper front body. Exhale, rounding the back into a cat. Inhale, opening the front body, releasing that head up. Exhale, gaze to navel, navel to spine, spine to ceiling or sky. Inhale, opening. Exhale, squeezing that front body, releasing that air. Inhale, expansion in that upper chest. Lingering there for a moment. Exhale, drawing that gaze inwards. And then bringing your hips down towards your heels into a child's pose. My knees are slightly wider, so I can really sink into this place. Now if you need to bring the ground high, you can put a block underneath your forehead, or you can just raise your body a bit higher. Just focusing on releasing that back body and reconnecting with the breath before rolling it back up to your tabletop position. Bringing the hips down lower. We're going to bring our body lying down on the floor in its front. Inhale, releasing the upper body into a little cobra, a little mini cobra. Exhale, release back down again to the floor. Inhale, rippling that body up to a mini cobra again. Exhale, ripple back down. Now you can always take this into a little bit of a higher cobra if that's what your body is calling you to do today. It's mostly about releasing that upper body at the moment. Rippling through the motion, maybe getting a little bit higher with every breath. Going up on the inhale and down the exhale. And using your own timing for this as well, please feel free to go slower or faster, whatever feels good, before rolling yourself back up to tabletop and re-establishing where you're at. Bring your hands a little bit further forwards. We're going to sink the chest down, melt that heart space down into a puppy pose. Releasing, melting. So only going as far as feels comfortable. You may be able to bring your chest all the way down to the floor. You may be a bit higher up as I am now. Feeling as if someone's perhaps gently pressing between your shoulder blades to guide you down a bit. And bring yourself back up to tabletop, walking these hands back to underneath the shoulders for a moment. And then we're going to bring ourselves into a knelt position at the back of your mat. Clasping your hands behind you, opening up that front chest. It's a bit like a parachute. If it feels more comfortable, you can place your hands on the backs of your hips. Or you can even place them on the floor if you really want to open up to the sky. Keeping that lower torso long and strong so you can focus on opening, releasing the upper chest. And then slowly bring it back up, not to give yourself a head rush at all. Back to tabletop, tuck the toes in, lifting the tailbone up into a gentle downward dog, padding the feet out while you're here. You can always stay in child's pose or tabletop even if you're not feeling a downward dog today. It can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. Wherever you are, just gently easing and breathing, softening that breath into the space that you are at. If you're in a downward dog, feeling that length over the whole back of the body. Feeling an integrity in the hands and fingers. On the next inhalation, we're going to step our right foot in between our hands, bringing our body up to a warrior one position. Hands all the way up. You can have your palms together or hands open, whatever feels nicer in the body. Strong in the legs. Right foot is faced directly forward. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle, roughly, depending on what feels good in your body. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor. Join the right foot to the left foot again. Now in a half plank or a full plank, you're going to the mini push-up chaturanga all the way down. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale to tabletop. Tuck toes all the way back up to downward dog. Bit of a vinyasa there. And holding that downward dog just for a moment. Or tabletop if that feels better. And then on the next inhale, bringing that left foot forwards and opening up into that warrior one on the left side. Hips forward facing like headlamps. Hands reach up to the sky, gaze up. Again, hands together or hands apart. You can't see me. My son's just walking through in his Harry Potter robe. Exhale, hands back down to the ground. Little vinyasa here, either a half plank or full plank, down through a little mini push-up. Inhale, little mini cobra. Exhale, tabletop tuck toes. Lift hips into your downward dog. And then a few moments to breathe into this space. Each time, if you're going to a downward dog, there will hopefully be a bit more ease, a bit more space. And stepping forward with that right foot. Opening up into warrior two this time, so hips are facing the front. Excuse me while I just answer whatever my son was asking me. Strong arms, strong legs, opening up those shoulders as if you're between two panes of glass. I don't know what he's doing there. He's running around. He's on a mission. Shoulders down, away from the shoulders. We're going to move into a side ankle stretch, so that right forearm onto the right thigh, reaching up and over with the left hand. Gaze up towards that middle finger of the left hand, or you can gaze down as well. Length through the spine. Gaze down and exhale, bring yourself back up to warrior two. And then we're going to bring our hands to the ground in a low lunge, bring the feet together. Mini plank, chaturanga, inhale. Cobra, exhale, tabletop back up to downward dog. Finding your place in this downward dog for a moment. Reconnecting. And then bringing that left foot forward into your warrior two once more. Opening up the hips and the shoulders. Meaning business. And again, we're going to move into that wide side angle stretch. The left forearm coming towards that left thigh, opening, circling the right arm up into a sideways stretch. Gaze upwards towards the hand or down towards the ground. Keeping length in that spine and then all the way through the neck as well, out through the crown of the head. So a lengthening from the crown of head all the way down to your heel, back up to warrior two. Moment, and then exhale, hands down to the floor, bring it into tabletop, half plank or even full plank, down through chaturanga. Inhale, goes up to cobra. Exhale, tabletop, tuck toes all the way up into downward dog. Gaze to navel here, length through the back of neck. And this time we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. Softness in the knee, so you can just dangle here a bit with your belly against your thigh, bit of a ragdoll. You can take hold of your elbows if that feels good, and you can bend your knees as much as you need to get that connection between the belly and the thigh. And whenever you're ready, rolling your body up vertebrae by vertebrae into your mountain pose, opening the palms out to the front, just taking a moment to feel where your breath is as you stand here and catch your breath once more. With your feet, your inside of feet together, you're going to inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, bend your knees into a chair pose. Keep a connection all the way up from the insides of your feet, all the way up through these knees, inside of knee, through your pelvis, all the way up through your torso. Torso long and strong, arms up, sinking the tailbone down towards the heels. Grounding yourself. And then releasing back up, arms down, exhale, folding halfway forward, softening those knees to get this belly on the thigh again, hanging like a bit of a rag doll here, stepping your feet a bit apart for a bit more stability. You can stay still or you can swing your body from side to side before placing your hands on the floor or your shins or your knees or thighs, wherever feels good. And then on the next inhale, rolling that body up again, vertebrae by vertebrae, head being the last thing to come up. We're going to find our feet on the floor and we're going to take a tree pose. So gently bearing your weight into that left leg, starting to ease that right foot off the floor. Now you may want to keep your toe on the floor, that's absolutely fine. You may be able to take it all the way up into a stag. You may be able to open the knee out to a tree. You may be able to take your foot up towards the top of your thigh, inside of the thigh, pressing the sole of the foot against the inside of the thigh. You can have your hands on your hips or in a prayer position like I am doing. I like the prayer position because I can really press my palms together. Find a fixed place for your gaze. That will really help with the balance. And by pushing the palms of hands together, that keeps you connected in your core. When you're ready, take your hands back down, release your foot back down to the ground. We're going to take that all on the other side. Finding your equal balance before pouring that weight into the right side leg this time. Gently taking that left foot off the floor into a stag. First of all, you can stay here or you can open your knee out to the side. Sole against the inside of the leg. We can bring that foot a bit higher if that feels good. Hands on your hips or again in the prayer position by your heart. And find your stability. This is when my son is about to read a bit of the story that he's written. So it's a really useful, really useful one to be able to keep your balance and talk to your kid at the same time. It can be helpful in many walks of life where you need to feel grounded and stable whilst you're getting distracted by everything else around. Whenever you're ready, bringing that foot back down to the ground, and we're going to bring ourselves all the way down to the floor in a seated position. Both legs will be extended in front of you. If you have a scarf or a belt to hand, anything that you can use to help guide this next forward stretch, you can go and grab something. So hook that over your feet, toes up to the sky. You're going to keep the back straight. Inhale, create more space in the spine. Exhale, start tilting forward from the hips, keeping that back straight. Breathing up and extending through that front body. You don't have to go very far. It may be that you're still in a 90-degree angle. Maybe that you can come forward a bit, using that scarf to help ease you down. You don't need to force anything though and pull yourself down. Just use your breath to keep extending that front body forwards. If it feels comfortable, you can continue to come further down towards the legs. And wherever you are, relax your body over now. You can bring your knees up into a bent position for this, so that you're bringing your knees towards your torso. You may have your legs completely straight. It really depends on your own body. We're going to come back out of that position, back to Dandasana. And we're going to take a Marichyasana C. So bring your left foot up, with your left knee up to the sky. The outside of your left foot is in line with the outside of your left hip. So it can feel a little bit wider when you first do it. We're going to inhale in, lifting the right arm up to the sky. On the exhale, place that right hand on the left knee. Look over the left shoulder into a little twist from the upper back. Like the beginning, every inhale, we're going to create more space within the spine. Every exhale, we are softening into that space, a little bit deeper into the twist. You can even hook your right elbow over your knee for a bit of a deeper twist if that feels good. Really feeling into the breath, letting the breath take you into this twist before unwinding it. Let's take that the other side. So right foot up this time with the knee up to the sky, outside of foot in line with the outside of hip. Inhale, lifting the left arm up. Exhale, place the left hand on the outside of the right knee into that twist, looking over the right shoulder this time. Inhale, create space. Exhale, soften into that space. Use that breath to ease you around, keeping the bottom leg, that left leg engaged, toes up to the sky. And again, if you want a bit of a deeper twist, you can hook your left elbow over the outside of that right knee, palm facing to the side. And then bring yourself back round to the front. Both knees bend. We're going to roll our way back into a semi-supine position, palms facing down. We're going to take a few bridge poses here. So knees level with the hips and shoot the energy over the thighs and over the knees as you lift your hips off the ground. Keep that energy flowing over the body and out right the way over these knees towards the back. Keeping the feet secure and grounded on the floor, palms facing down on the floor. And then release back down. Let's take that up again when you're ready. Hips off the ground. Feeling release over that front of body. Secure in the legs. Breathing as you go. And take the hips back down again. And one more time. All the way up into that bridge pose. And back down again. Bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a bit of a hug while you're there. Maybe rolling your back on the floor for a bit of a self-massage along your mat. Releasing off that lower back. And whenever you're ready, placing your feet back down to the ground. Let's take some semi-supine twist, dropping the knees down to the left, looking over the right shoulder. Resetting that back. Space between every vertebrae. You can put a cushion under your knees if you need the ground to be a bit higher for you. Then bring your knees back up. And let's drop those knees back down to the right side this time, looking over the left shoulder. Softening into the earth. Spreading yourself across the ground using that space. Knees back up to the sky, and then feet all the way stretch out along your mat. Palms facing up as you take your hands beside you into your Shavasana. Using this time to reconnect with the very center and core of your breath. Maybe focusing on one point just beyond the tip of your nose, that point from where breath is drawn into the body and then released back out into the world. That point in which we are connected with the world beyond as we exchange our breath with the breath of life that is gifted us by the trees. Now you can stay here as long as you please, or if you do need to go about your day, start gently bringing awareness to your fingers and your toes, bringing a bit of life back into it with a wiggle. Gently reawakening and softly bringing yourself back up to seated. Maybe taking a moment to place your hands on your heart space just for a moment of gratitude, and then rubbing the palms together like we did at the beginning, creating a bit of energy and a bit of heat, and then peeling these palms apart and letting them for just a moment face each other. See if you can feel that warmth and energy between the two of them. You can hold this as long as you like before taking it up to your face, your eyes again, like we did at the beginning. And this time just noticing if it feels any different at all, or if there's any other sensations arising. Are you in a different place? And then finding these places that longed to be touched once more. And it may be different from the beginning of the class, or it may be the same. Maybe they want another check-in, another acknowledgement. Maybe it feels nice to give yourself a bit of a self-embrace, hugging the shoulders, giving them a bit of a squeeze, maybe. Give yourself a massage as well if you like. Whatever you need. And this is just your moment. Maybe hugging the knees, holding the feet. I was moved to give my feet a little rub here. Not planned, just felt really nice to give my toes a bit of a squeeze. And my knees a bit of a hug. And as you bring this class to a close, maybe bring yourself back to seated and giving another big sigh all the way out through the lips. And just a big thank you from me to you for joining me in this practice today. Take care.